Oh, hey, there you are, YouTube. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'm going to be able to work this little phone here without it popping out, but I'm going to try my best to make this happen. So we're back and live, and I think we got cut off on YouTube with the last session. So I'm restarting this session back up again, and I'm going to just try so I don't be looking all crazy. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening and that's going on right now. And this is really, really, really important because we have, thank you guys for your patience, because so many things are happening. So when you're in kind of like a crazy space, you automatically think, oh my gosh, everybody is quitting their jobs, or oh my gosh, hey Kiona, or not only are they quitting, but everybody's unemployed. Not true. Only 3 million people in the US, and 3 million people in the US, which is way too much. But 3 million people in the US is only 3% of the population. Only 3% of the population. So put it into perspective, okay? I shouldn't start this business right now or push my business right now because everybody is, experiencing this or feeling this or going through this. And I just want to debunk the misnomer, okay? People are working, people are hiring. I'm amazing. How are you? People are working, people are hiring. They are doing the thing. And so if you are in a position where your mindset is like, no, I can't do this, or this isn't possible, or right now I should probably be doing something different. I just want to reposition your mind. I want to shift your thought process right now. Now is the time to ramp up in your business. I'm telling you, there are many staffingpreneurs that I've been talking to, and they've been telling me, D, I am having a hard time, like literally keeping my staff to help fill all the positions that are there. So there are some companies out here that are having a hard time even filling the roles that they already have. Like, things have not stopped working because this pandemic has happened. So take those thoughts and those ideas automatically out of your mind. It is just not true. I also want to remind you, I posted something a little while ago about like what's going on, like how many things have happened and during times where things were crazy, right? And then somebody else in the Staffingpreneurs Academy group posted as well. And they said WhatsApp came out in 2009. That was during the last recession, because y'all know they saying we're in a recession again, right? So they're saying the last recession, WhatsApp came out in 2009, $19 billion sold to Facebook. Venmo came out in 2009, $300 million to PayPal. Groupon came out. All of these companies came out during the recession. Groupon, Instagram, Uber, Pinterest, Slack, Square, Google Voice, Cloudora. The list goes freaking on. So just because we are in a weird space doesn't mean that we can't create, that we can't build. We can definitely create. We can definitely build. And this is really the time to be creating and building right now. Okay, so that was the first thing I want to say. While I'm saying that, put your questions in the box. This is your Q&A call. If I don't see questions, I cut the call. If I see questions, I keep moving, okay? So put your questions in the box. I'm only here once a month live for my staffingpreneurs in the Facebook group, in my private Facebook group. So the floor is open, and while you're putting your questions in, I am going to continue to feed you with some really good information. Now, I don't know if you all saw the video of the young lady who quit, the nurse who quit live. Did anybody see the video of the nurse who quit live online? She had a pre-existing condition. Put a 1 in the box if you had. And if you haven't, I'll tell you the story. There was a nurse here in the state of Georgia that was working at one of the most, I guess, infected hospitals, one of the hospitals that had got infected really bad. And she was overwhelmed by, the fact that her boss wanted her to work on a COVID-19 floor, and she had some pre-existing conditions, and apparently her boss did some like unethical things, which heightened her emotions, and so she quit. Right? She just popped up and just quit. But she didn't just quit. She actually quit live online. Whew. She quit live online. And I didn't see it initially, but somebody sent me the video and was like, D, she's never going to get another job ever again in life. So I didn't even know what they were talking about. And so I watched the video and I was like, wow, that was pretty intense. Like, you know, we don't want people quitting their jobs at all naturally, but it's not a good practice to quit your job online, right? So I go to YouTube because the Breakfast Club, if you're familiar, actually had her on the show live to give her side of the story. So because she got support, actually, probably more support than I would have imagined, but she got support, and then some people kind of like, you know, hey, I'm not sure if that was the right way to do things. And then next thing you know, she's on the Breakfast Club. So I commented under the post. If you guys go to her post on the Breakfast Club, you could see my comment. I stopped commenting because one lady did get a little aggressive with me, and that's not my energy. I made the statement that while I understand why she did what she did, that I felt like, thank you so much. I felt like quitting online is just unacceptable. Like that's something you just don't do. You don't quit live. And so, like I said, people kind of beat me up about it, but I wanted to talk to you all about it as staffing professionals because I felt like this was like a real situation. And I could go through all of the things, all of the million reasons why you don't quit online. And I'm not going to do that today, but I will say this in regards to that, and I'll move to my true point. Not just it was unprofessional, Yvonne. Forget the fact that it was unprofessional. Like she's just left a trail for herself, right? The internet can't be deleted. She left a trail for herself. So for me as a great recruiter, when I get a candidate that I feel like is a good fit, a good match for a client of mine, I typically, the first thing I do before I'm submitting is do a Google search. Right? I just want to make sure this person is who they say they are. I want to make sure that this person, basically it's who they say they are. I'm looking actually, hey Virgil, I'm actually like looking for, the good, the bad, and the indifferent so that I can kind of get a better idea as to who I'm dealing with. And so I started to think about her with a broken heart, really, like because she did this. And I'm like, okay, so as a recruiter, I'm going to look for an RN. I go and do a Google search. I see this video. There is no way in hell I would call her about a role. And if I was on the verge of submitting her, I would withdraw my submittal. I'm just going to keep it real. Because she would, in my opinion, as a professional recruiter, she would be a liability to the company that I'm trying to place her in. Two, it seems as though she may not potentially be a team player. And I believe as a nurse, you have to be a team player. The fact that she called out the manager that she was uncomfortable with. So that lets me know that she did not care about, that manager could sue her for defamation of character, regardless of what she did wrong, because she put it out in the public. Like that's a legality thing, right? In addition, the hospital is now on blast. And so that can also turn into another legality thing. And it's just like, there's just certain things you just don't do. And I really wanted to go live about this, and I'm probably going to do a whole separate video talking about this, so be prepared. But I really wanted to go live because I felt like I don't want her to set the precedent for other people to feel like, okay, because I'm in a position where I'm uncomfortable, that gives me the right to just pick up and freaking walk off the job. You don't do that. And if you do, you don't do it live. You don't do it live. There is a trail. So the question that I have for each and every one of you is, what can we do as staffingpreneurs to kind of ease the pressure down a little bit for the staff internally, so that before they get to the point of, I can't take it no more, I've got to walk off set, we can say, hey, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you are, if you come and talk to us, come and communicate with us first, and let's work through it. Because I felt like she didn't have a solid voice in her head. She just reacted off of emotion. So anyway, I'm talking to a girlfriend of mine this morning, and we're talking about this, and we're going through YouTube, and she actually did an interview and came back and said she actually regretted what she did and how she did it, and that she didn't want to stop being a nurse. And the nurse I talked to a nurse this morning who actually sits on a nurse board, and the very first thing she said was, this lady is going to probably lose her license because she went AWOL. It's like, I know we're in a crazy times. I know that everything is super heightened, but I promise you, and I'm saying this in the most empathetic way possible, it is not as bad as we think it is, and it is not as bad as it could be. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not as bad as we think it is, and it's not as bad as it could be. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Are changes going to be made in society? Yes. Are people passing? There are a few that are. Are people contracting? Yes. Will more contract? Yes. Have people had it and they didn't even know they had it? Probably yes. How many people, I asked this before, I've talked to so many people, how many people are like sick as a dog on October, November, December, January, and was like, I don't even know why I'm this sick? It's probably, we don't have enough tests to confirm what happened, but I would imagine that because we don't have enough tests and because we didn't catch this early enough, that there were a lot of people who had already contracted it, got through it, and don't even, and have moved on with their lives, right? Right? So we have to be very careful about how we do things and why we're doing things. So JL Mission said her quitting was self-serving. She could have used that platform to start a meaningful conversation. I second that, JL. Morning, Neola. Yvonne said, right. Giovanni says she will always be associated with that video. Are you kidding? Like, she may have to change her profession. Honestly, she may have to switch her profession because, like, there were so many different things that were associated with that. So what I don't want to focus on the negative though. That's not my goal. What I want to focus on is what we can do to make sure that that doesn't happen to our staff, to our contractors, to our employees. How do we encourage our employees and support our employees through this process from a mental and emotional perspective? From a mental and emotional perspective. We always think that it's just like a financial piece that people are looking for, but sometimes it's just knowing that you care. I have literally spent the last 2 weeks calling individual staffingpreneurs one by one. Hey, how are you? How are things going? Is everything going good with your family? Are you staying in place? Girl, don't worry about me, or don't even worry about me. I'm good. But I want to know how you are. Sometimes it really does just take having a little bit of heart and just saying, hey, I know what you're going through. I feel you, and I'm here to support throughout this process. What can I do to support? And so that enough will charge the emotions that are running really high. On top of that, the energy in the air is like, you know what I'm saying? It's so scary. It's like the narrative that's being put out there is if you get it, you die. And you know that's not the truth, right? You know that's not the truth, but that's the fear factor that's like floating in the air. It's like the fear factor that's floating in the air. And it's like, I get it, but people like me who have really high energy, I feel like it's our job to cut right through that space, to cut right through it and to bring some positivity to the space. So when you guys see me go live with people, I did the Corona transformation video. I've got Dr. Kiana Jones coming on. She's talking about the positive aspects of Corona and debunking all of the stuff tonight at 7 p.m. here on YouTube and in Facebook and on IG. She's going to be live with me. We're going to be doubling up on IG so that people from her community and my community can chime in and get their questions answered. And just like, I just want you guys in a positive space. We're in a great time right now. We're not in a horrible time. We're in a weird time for sure. But we're not like people, this isn't the zombie apocalypse. If you know what I'm saying? My daughter and I went and watched the movie Outbreak. That was horrible. If y'all seen Outbreak recently, you'll see how blessed we are right now. Because it was 100% fatal rate with the movie Outbreak, and we're nowhere near that. So I want you all in a positive space and looking forward and thinking about, how can I support now? What is it I can do right now to help support businesses and candidates during this time? I'm going to go to comments for one quick second. Hey, Pan. Jane is the side from India. Hey, from India. I love it. Maybe survey them so often, JL Mission says, to express their experience with the client. Yes, survey them. But this is the time now. Listen. Ooh, JL. Ooh, Yvonne. Ooh, Neola. Ooh, come on. Ooh. We got to get into this right here and right now, okay? Nicole, hey, Pooh. I see you at 3 p.m. today. All right? We got to really dive into this, right? Because most people are afraid to pick up the phone. But don't y'all think this is the right time to pick up the phone and to call employers and just say, how are things going? I talked to one of my staffingpreneurs this morning in New York, and the one thing he said is clients that he was calling on last year that were ignoring him are now blowing his phone up. People who are, people who have ignored him are now going back to emails that he's had, so long ago, like they need help right now. If he picks up the phone, I'm sure right now and calls people, he's going to get job order after job order after job order after job order to the client because he's in a healthcare space and there's a major need. So if you're in healthcare, if you're in retail, if you are in logistics, if you are in manufacturing, your doors should be open. You should be on the phone. Ooh, I don't want to lose your YouTube. I just hit the desk and it's You should be on the phone calling. And it doesn't. Somebody just said how. Who is that? Vicky. How? Vicky, that's really easy. Vicky, how? Pick up the phone and just say, how are things going? How are you all handling the business right now? How are things happening with you right now? Is there anything I can do to support? Oh, it is? Great, I'm in, right? You pick up the phone and just say, hey, how are you? What can I do to support you? You understand? Because right now, if you look at Walmart, if you look at the places that are manufacturing the masks, if you look at, y'all know I drove from California to Atlanta and trucks were on the highway. So truck drivers are needed. Any staffingpreneur right now that's telling me that they don't have any business, they don't have any contracts, I just refuse to believe that. If that's the case, it's something you are not doing correctly. Business is booming, period. So if you are not booming in your business right now, if your phones aren't ringing, you should be making calls and making those phones ring. If your emails aren't going off, how many emails are you sending out today? How many emails did you send out yesterday? How many LinkedIn connections did you create? How many conversations did you start on LinkedIn? Did you go live and talk about the scenario? Did you create a piece of collateral that will give you some authority in your niche space? Like, I could keep going on and on and on. What are you doing specifically to generate that? Because the only reason why you don't have that business is because they don't know that you're available. They don't know that you're available. Now, with that being said, before you go out there calling, you got to have some candidates because there are a lot of people who don't want to work in life. So you've got to have candidates as well. Don't just go out there looking for the contract and don't have anybody to fill it. And then you're going to be putting yourself in a situation where when this is over, they're going to say this company wasn't any good during the crisis. So why would we keep them on as a client, right? You want to show your value. Okay, that was good. I love that, JL. I love that. Neola said, thank you for being so genuine. I love it. I can only be me here. That's it. Yvonne said, definitely give them an avenue to discuss what they're going through in the height of their issues. Being present so your staff knows your support, 100%. And I mentioned to someone that there are a lot of companies that have popped up recently. It was on LinkedIn that they are building spyware technology that for employees so that they can track what the employees are doing, like on their computers while working from home. That's already been out there. That was out there in 2011. So that's not brand new, but a lot of companies are starting to implement it because they want to make sure that if you're working from home, that you're not just hanging out, that you're actually doing the work. I feel like that's a horrible way to manage your staff. That's not a way to show that you trust and believe the people that are there, that are working on your behalf, as long as they get the job done. That's all that really matters. Most people work more than their work hours anyway, especially if you're talking about the professional solutions space. So why spy? But that's my thought process, you know. That's my thought process. It's a time that really matters. Neola said, that's right. Vicky said, who are you guys getting in contact with new prospects at this time? The same people you would get in contact with prospects if it wasn't this time. Who is your target market? So Vicky, what's your niche? What's your niche, Vicky? Tell me your niche, girl. What's your niche? And then we can walk right on through this. Because and I have a spreadsheet, a document. I think if you look at the video, I tell you how to flush your niche out. But if you're asking that question, that means that your niche isn't fully fleshed out. So who's your niche market? What positions are you placing? For what industry? Who are the hiring managers that you're reaching out to? Okay, for what industry? Business analysts and project managers for what industry? I'm interested in knowing. I'm going to let her kind of go in. While she's IT. Okay, the IT industry is so broad. There are 50 different industries under IT. What part of IT? Are you in healthcare IT, fintech? Are you doing, what part of IT? I'm in healthcare staffing, medical assistants, and nurses. Oh, Neola was answering Vicky's question. I'm so sorry, Vicky. Don't beat me up, Vicky. I'm looking at Neola. I'm so sorry. So Neola. Okay, so Vicky said, no worries, Neola. Don't worry. I'm going to come back to you, Neola. I'm going to focus on Vicky, and then I'll come back to you. So Vicky says she's in healthcare staffing, medical assistant, and nursing. Okay, so healthcare staffing is your industry. You're focusing on medical assistants, and you're focused on nursing. So that's perfectly fine. You should be booming right now. Booming. Who hires the medical assistant? Not HR. Who hires the medical assistant, and who hires the type of nurse that you're placing? Those are the people you want to reach out to. Whoever does the hiring is who you want to reach out to, not HR. Unless your niche is in the HR space, not HR. Who do you want to reach out to? You want to reach out to the people that actually hire the person that you're looking to place. So I think you're going to talk to DONs, director of nursing. Oh, keep calling. Who cares? Call them, email them, get them on LinkedIn. What are you saying? That's normal. That's not, and I say this with love, Vicky. I'm from Baltimore. So I got a little edge to me. So just know I say all of this with love, honestly, but my voice does sometimes come across crazy. So, managers not responding is not anything new, and it's not specific to the coronavirus or to the COVID-19. It's just not. Think about, as a manager, how your day is typically set up, right? As an owner, as a business owner, I have staff everywhere. I have offices, I have businesses, I'm busy. I can't pick up every phone call that comes across my desk. I can't do it. I can't talk to everyone who calls me. I can't respond to, do you know how many emails I get? Like I have 6 different email lists. So I have emails coming out like crazy. Like I just don't have the bandwidth. That's why I have staff and people to help me. But do I check? Yes. Am I looking? Yes. Am I looking at my social media? Hey, Marcus. Yes. Am I looking at my email? Yes, of course I am. Am I listening to my voicemail? Sure. Right? So just because I'm not answering doesn't mean that I'm not aware. So keep calling. Call back again. But don't call to sell. Call to find out what's going on with them. Don't call to sell. Now, I wouldn't necessarily sell during this time. I would call to check in. You call to check in, and when you call to check in, then the conversation will evolve into something more if it makes sense. But you don't want to just like call like, let me fill your positions. Let me fill your, like they're already getting that. They're stressed out. Like, don't do that. Just call, hey, we've connected before, or we never really got a chance to connect in the past. But right now things are really, really crazy. And I just want to see, how can I support you? How are things going with the business? How are you handling things, the shift that's taking place? And me, I've been talking about the nurse. Are you having experiences where your staff is looking to quit? How are you handling it? Can we support you with that? So it's like literally about just being like staffing agencies. We are civil servants. That's our job. We're civil servants. We're there to help and to support. So we should be helping and supporting. You know what I'm saying? Tasha said, also other staffing agencies are looking for help right now. It's so much, she said it's enough help to go around. Vicky, Tasha said there are others, she's on Facebook, Vicky. She said there are other agencies looking for help right now. It's enough work to go around. Okay? And I agree with that. Not only are businesses hiring, but other agencies are also hiring, right? And I'm telling you, all the healthcare staffingpreneurs I've talked to are busy. None of them have stated that, oh my gosh, I don't know. Every last one of them I've talked to are busy. They are slammed. They can't even get candidates to work. They're in such a crazy space. So do not, don't put it, I just say, take anything in your mind that makes you feel like this is not going to work, or it's not working, or things are anything negative, just remove it. Just remove it right now and just be open. I'm glad to see Marcus here, because right now mental health is like ooh-wee. And I've been talking to Marcus. You and I have been talking for a long time about this telehealth space. And right now it's hot. People are like freaking out that they can't even see their doctor. They got to see them online. Like telehealth is hot, right? Doctors' offices are scrambling to implement this telehealth space. And so at Marcus, I would like to see you reaching out to find out as well. If you're in the mental health space, it's not just for Marcus. If you're in the mental health space, how can we support you? Do you have the proper technology in place? This is the time when mental health people should be partnering with some type of technology company so that they're able to offer something so much more. Yes, I said it. I said it. You guys need to be partnering with tech companies so that you can help support your doctors, so that your doctors can help support everyone else this having mental issues around what's going on right now. And that's not just in the medical space. If you see an opportunity to tap into technology as a staffingpreneur and you feel like it will help your market in some way, and it's specific to your market in some way, what are you waiting on? Make the partnership right now. Get on the phone with the hiring manager and let them know you can support them in more than one way. Hello. High five YouTube, high five Facebook and Zoom. Hello. Now is the time. Don't think backwards and negative. Think forward thinking. You have an opportunity. A lot of the people in the world right now are functioning on one of the lowest vibrational levels you can possibly think of. Fear, lack, scarcity. But if you're watching this video with me right here, right now, I will not allow that. That is unacceptable. That is not where we have to be. That is a choice. So we have to really debunk all of the things that are going on out here, and we have to be the light, not just for our candidates, but for our clients. We have to be the light. We are the light. Hello. Are y'all with me here? I know I'm talking some craziness here, but I'm serious about this right now. This is serious business right now. All right. Serious business. Okay. Just discovered huge increase in call center jobs in California for COVID-19. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Everywhere, everywhere. JL said, I'm pushing through that doubt. I found you researching how to start a staffing. Push through the doubt. Push through it because I promise you right now, I promise you. I promise you right now, the only reason I can talk about this is because the last recession, my vibration was low and I let my business go. And I realized later that was the dumbest thing ever. Why would I do that? You have to push through it. If you push through it, you come out on top. If you feed into the BS, you end up on the bottom, and 2 years from now, you'll be still watching my videos trying to figure out why you're not where you want to be right now. Why you want to be. Many people date me for years on YouTube, and still 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later, they're still thinking about the idea, but not actually doing it out of fear, out of doubt. Like, let that go. The only thing that can happen is you can succeed or fail. And that's the only thing that can happen if you don't do anything. If you don't do anything in your business right now, you will fail. But if you do something, you at least open the odds up 50-50 that you could potentially succeed. So why not give yourself greater odds? I'm just saying. Why not give yourself greater odds? You don't really have anything to lose. Not now. You have everything to gain. Look for what you want. Look for the positive. Look to see who's hiring. It's only 3% of the U.S. population that's unemployed. Only 3%. And yes, it's through the entertainment industry. It's through hospitality. It's through the airline. Like, yes, those industries are being affected greatly. Retail is still booming to some degree, online or offline. People are already going, I'm out of brick and mortars before the coronavirus ever hit. Stores are closing down and only doing an online thing. So this is not brand new stuff, people. This is not brand new stuff, staffingpreneurs. Do not let the media and the news skew your mind, put you into a field of fear and lead you to believe that things ain't the way. Don't do that. Don't listen to that. Listen to me. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. We moving forward, okay? That's where we're going. We're going forward and we're staying positive. We're staying fired up. That's what this is about. All right. Now, questions. I want to go back to Neola because Neola said, OD, my niche is business analysts, project managers in the IT space. But I also see you saying for energy and semiconductor project managers in that space. So explain a little bit more. Are you doing IT and energy, or I don't know? Tell me how that goes. I'm definitely here to support you though. Anybody else have questions as well? This is the time. We've got about 15 more minutes on this call, and I definitely want to be here to support you. Okay, so you said you're doing both. I like that, but how many people do you have on your team with you? How many people are working this business with you? If you have more than one person working on this business, both is great. If you don't, start with one and stick with that one until you master that one, and then you add on. You don't start off with 50 different roles from the very beginning. If you're one person, it's going to be very challenging for you to fill the roles by yourself to keep up with the demand that you'll get. So you want to focus on one particular area, master that, hire somebody to take over that, then start your next niche. Master that, hire somebody else to take on to that, then master the next, and then do another niche. Master that, hire some. Now you've built a full company with different niches, and now you're growing organically versus you coming out the door trying to fill 50,000 different positions. You get the job orders and you can't fill them because you're spread too thin. Hello, you're spread too thin. Why do that to yourself? I'm thirsty. I almost choked this apple cider vinegar, y'all. Y'all see? Oh, Lord, my eyes. Y'all see my eyes got watery. This is organic apple cider vinegar. And it just kind of keeps your immune system up and clean. So I'm drinking it. But ooh, it is strong. So if you get some, it is strong. The one I get is with the vinegar and honey, so it's not too strong, but oh my gosh, it just took my eyes down. All right, sorry about that, y'all. So thirsty. All right, now I do probably need to dilute it. That was a great advice. I actually kind of needed that advice because it was so strong. It just took my eyes like into tears. Okay, so another thing, I noticed that a lot of you all are not taking advantage of the money that is available to you right now. Marcus, you can file. So there, y'all know that they just changed the money that the first $10,000 from that SBA loan is free and you don't have to pay the 10K back. Hello, did y'all know that? You don't even have to pay the first 10K back, okay? And so, okay, Neola, I'm gonna work with you in a second. So, but then Tina just sent me a message since we've been live on this call. And she said, they just added some more grants to the pot. I'm gonna just try to call her live if y'all don't mind and see if I can get her on the line. She's gonna kick my tail for this, but I'm gonna just try. Hold on one second. I'm gonna call. I hope y'all can hear. Can y'all hear this? Put a 1 in the box if you can hear the ringing.
Hello?
Tina, you're alive.
Oh,
Okay, yes, you're live. I just wanted to tell you that before you start talking. Just say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Tina, you just text me. Now you know how I am. You text me and tell me something good that there's more money in the pot that people need to know.
Okay. You're calling. You probably. Am I live on Zoom right now?
No. You just audio. We can't hear you. Just see you. We can only hear you.
Okay. So what it's some good stuff happening, y'all. Let me tell you what's happening. Okay, did you know that the Paycheck Protector application loans up to $10 million if you're going to keep your employees or if you're going to rehire employees you had to lay off, you can get, up to $10 million. Now, you can get to $10 million if your payroll is $10 million.
Okay, I was about to say, wait, now they're giving away $10 million?
So you can't just say, let me get $10 million. But if you had, it's people that have $10 million worth of payroll.
Right.
Okay, well, you can get payroll up to $10 million as long as you're going to be using that money to pay your employees within the next 8 weeks. Guess what, guys? Those are forgivable. You do not have to pay them back.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Great.
Oh, guess what else? No personal guarantee.
Okay.
Meaning it's just it's on your company. It's not even on you. And if you don't use the money to pay your employees, you will have 10 years to pay it back. So
that's bananas. And so listen, one of the ladies on here, she said SBA loans are available, but you need to have good personal credit to get it though.
So the SBA loans are available. The paycheck doesn't have any minimum credit requirement because there is no personal guarantee. So no personal guarantee means that you do not have to have any credit for that. The SBA loans, there is a minimum credit requirement. Now, it's not saying that if your credit score is below a certain amount that you're a certain level that you're not going to get it. They're going to look at your pay history to see, okay, well, do you get loans and just don't pay them back? But you might have been affected by the COVID and you had a couple of late credit card payments and your credit score might not be where you want it to be. Basically, they're still going to go on a case-by-case basis and approve that. So the thing is, you guys, I don't want people to be afraid. Here's the thing. The only thing that they can tell you is yes or no. Do not let anyone discourage you from applying because then you're just not applying. So I'm not, there is no, the the SBA doesn't have a minimum credit requirement.
Well,
They're
Vicky,
looking on a case-by-case basis.
so a lady on here, her name is Vicky. She's very nice. Hey, Staffingpreneur Vicky. She said that she saw a live. They did a webinar yesterday. Who's they? Is that the SBA? Who's they? And she said that during this webinar, they said that you got to be a 600 credit score in order to qualify. So I'm confirming who did a webinar on that, if it was the SBA. But this is what's being posted in my YouTube channel. You can you can look at the YouTube channel, Tina, to see what's yeah, she said the SBA did a webinar yesterday and they said you got to have a 600 credit score.
Okay, so I was on a webinar with Goldman Sachs and the SBA. That is still on a case-by-case basis. You do have to have a minimum credit score, but here's the thing, it's case-by-case basis. So I would not discourage anyone from applying. Also, the first $10,000 on the SBA EIDL loan, that's the economic injury. It's two different types of loans. There's an economic injury disaster loan. That is the one that does have the minimum credit requirement on it. And so that's the one that she's probably talking about. The first $10,000 of that loan does not have to be paid back. The interest rates on those are going to be 3.75 for for-profits and 2.75 for nonprofits, and you get 30 years to pay that back. The first $10,000 actually does not have to be paid back. So you can actually go to the SBA COVID website and then go on there. You can kind of see that it says the first $10,000 will not have to be paid back on those SBA loans. So the first $10,000 is actually a grant. Now, on the Paycheck Protector loans, there is no minimum credit requirement. The EIDL loans, you actually apply directly to the SBA. You don't go to a bank to get. The Paycheck Protector loans, which actually started last night at midnight, you got to go to an SBA approved lender, and all of the banks, there is no personal guarantee. You do have to actually prove that you had payroll and that you're going to use that money to pay your payroll and your employees over the next 8 weeks. If you do use it to pay your employees over the next 8 weeks, you won't have to pay it back. Those are 100% forgivable.
Okay, that was the question that came up a couple of times as well. Is the Paychex loan requiring to prove receivables to get the loan without a PG?
So, not receivables. You have to prove that you had, it's a Paycheck Protector. So, you have to prove that you had employees and that you're going to rehire them or keep them. You're not going to lay them off.
Right. So, Kiana, you're speaking receivables, but the payroll that you're running is that what they're focusing on, not like okay, she got it. She said, okay, thank you. She got it. That was her question. Okay, good. Is there, let me just see. I saw a whole, you're welcome, my love. I saw a couple of other questions. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything about that. So I think this is for me, but I'm going to say it out loud. What are the requirements for a new staffing company? Is there, like, if somebody's brand new, Tina, and they are being, like, they just opened their doors in the last year and they're being affected by this now, like, is there some relief for them as well?
So staffing companies, even if they're a startup from last year, as long as they had employees last year,
okay,
and they're not able to work now, you're going to be able to get that. You're going to be able to apply for both the EIDL loan and also the Paycheck Protector loan, and you can have both at the same time. So you can do the EIDL and payroll loan. So with the payroll loan, you can only pay payroll. They said you can pay mortgage interest and utilities on a business, not your personal residence. So if you're going to use the loan for that, it's actually 100% forgivable. Anything outside of that, though, you would have to actually pay it back. So I'm sorry, did I answer the question?
I think you did. And just to confirm, and I'm just I know you've answered, but I'm just going to read the questions. You have to have your business active prior to January 2020, correct? That was the question.
So you could have opened. So the emergency was actually uh, like they put it as January 31st, 2020. So if your business was open before January 31st, 2020, and you had revenues and you had payroll, even if you know, just had like one a month or so, you can prove that you had the revenues. If you had payroll, you can prove that you had payroll. And then if all of your people just now had to go home, you can also prove that as well. So you can be a startup, but you can't be a startup that has not had revenues. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you don't have employees, you're not going to be able to get the paycheck protector.
Right.
Loan.
So if you're running,
you have revenues, you couldn't be able to get the EIDL loan.
so if you're running a direct hire business only, that means you don't have anybody on payroll other than your internal staff, then you probably wouldn't, qualify unless you're supporting your internal staff. Your internal staff, right? But so the direct, right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tina.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying the internal staff, yes, but as far as the direct, if they're a direct hire agency, and they don't have internal staff. So Tina, now I have another question with that being said. So some of the agencies that I work with are direct hire only, meaning that they place people on other people's payroll. There's not on their payroll, right? So, but they've worked with their attorney and or their accountant, and they payroll themselves out as employees of their own company. Would they be able to qualify as a owner/employee?
Okay, so there are two separate applications to submit. If you are on payroll, you're on payroll. So that's just, who's ever on payroll, you can end up getting the payroll, whatever your payroll was. Even if it's you can get the paycheck protector loan. Now, mind you, if it's your pay, you're gonna have to pay it back. But I'm sorry, I just misspoke, because it's forgivable if you use it for payroll. Right. Even if you paid yourself. so I just misspoke. Now, the other part of the question was basically if you were just a sole proprietor. That first, there's an application specifically for sole proprietors. So it's a separate application, but it's still on the same page. You just tell them that you're a sole proprietor. So if you can't see my screen, but let me go over here and.
And while you're doing that, let me just say, many of you are sole proprietors, or you are members of your LLC, and you should be putting yourself on payroll.
Oh my goodness! Please do that. Please put if you're S corp or LLC, make sure you talk to your accountant. But make sure that you put yourself on the payroll, because you can even apply for unemployment. If you were on payroll.
Right.
And so the owner can, if you're on payroll and you're not getting paid right now, you can actually apply for unemployment. And then, now they got the extra $600 a week coming through unemployment right now.
Keep your doors open. Keep your businesses going. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I'm here to tell y'all do not have to go backwards. This is a forward-moving time. Like, I called this lady. She didn't even know I was calling her. I'm trying to help y'all so that you know that you do not have to close your doors at all. Actually, this is a time of support. Don't believe the BS that's floating out there. The government is actually allowing for businesses to stay open and to pay their employees. If you are hearing people who are saying that companies are doing unethical things, that's specific to that company. That's not to say that the resources aren't out here.
Right. And you can just go straight to the SBA. I mean, you don't have to believe what someone else is saying. It's right on their website. Everything everything is there. You might just have some issue applying for it. So if you're going to have someone help you apply for it, you just pay them. Also, with that being said, the SBA, when we're entering the app on the SBA site, it asks you who's helping you and how much are you paying. We actually have to even have to add that onto the app. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going right into another meeting.
I know. I love you, Tina. Thank you. I'll talk to you tonight after 8 p.m.
Okay.
All right. Love you, Tina. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. I just pulled her right up. So let me give Tina some. Tina, thank you, Tina. Thank you. We love Tina. Y'all put in the box. Y'all love Tina. So when she watched the replay, she'll answer the phone when we call again. We always want Tina to answer the phone. This is the deal. Many of you are contracting yourselves out. Many of you are contracting yourselves out. You are on contract through your own company. You are an employee. There are resources out there for you to keep the business going, to keep money flowing into your business so that you don't go backwards, okay? So just keep that in mind. The resources are out here for you, staffingpreneurs. Do not give up. Unacceptable. I won't allow it. I promise you, I will call each and every one of y'all. I will not allow defeat, okay? I will not allow defeat, all right? We are moving forward. Now, I had a couple of questions here that came through. I got to go through a lot of questions. This is Q&A. Okay. Questions. I saw that Vicky said you just launched in January. Congrats, Vicky. I love that. Let me give her some love. Yes, Vicky. Yes, girl, just starting up and doing her thing. She already giving her good information. So I really love that she's really into her business. I saw, what else did I see? Full disclosure, I'm just starting out and feeling a little bit lost. That's okay. You feel lost because you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, right? You're still trying to get all the pieces to the puzzle put, together so that you can understand exactly how you want to flow. I will tell you all the time, join Staffingpreneurs Academy. Join it, because it doesn't mean, it's like, why be lost when you have a place you can go to literally get your business set up and get it set up the right way and just have clarity so that you're not in that space. That's imperative. All right. Taquita says, yes, my contractor just called to ask that I reduce my fee by 5%. So you really want to take advantage of the finances that are out here available to you, Taquita, so that you don't miss a beat and your business is not affected and your family isn't affected, right? Because we need each and every staffingpreneur to be on their A game so that we can continue to support these organizations and to support these candidates. So that's going to be very, very, very imperative. Super duper duper imperative. More comments here coming in. Full disclosure. Okay, let me just see. I'm thinking to start with cybersecurity. So this is Genevieve. She says, I'm thinking of starting with cybersecurity with all the remote work happening now. Companies will need more security. What do you think? That is one of the best niches you can get into right now. If you do a Google search right now and you type in hack, breach, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do I would do Google News, right? So if you type in hack, breach right now and then click on news, and the last 22 hours ago, Marriott data breach exposes 5 million people. Millions of guests impacted at Marriott. So Marriott just got hacked again in the last day or so. Hackers are not stopping because the COVID-19 is out. As a matter of fact, they're going harder. I'm talking about they say, oh, everybody is distracted. Everybody is distracted. So now they're going harder. So Marriott just got hacked 21 hours ago. House Party got hacked. A company called House Party got hacked. General Electric suffered a data breach. GE discloses a data breach. This is all within the past week, y'all. All within the past week. So when you ask the question, what do you think about cybersecurity? Girl, you better open your doors yesterday, okay? It's definitely freaking needed. It's definitely freaking needed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? Get into that space. Let's see what else. Okay, so Neola said, I'm just starting out, and in order to qualify for the grant organization, you need to be, okay, we talked about that. What are your requirements for a new staffing company? And I think that might have, I don't know if that was a financial one, Yvonne, or if that was a question that was specific to me. So if you're still watching, Yvonne, can you let me know, was that a specific question to me? Ritu, hey, how are you? Says, what is the unique thing that we should approach to the client so that they proceed with us? How to write convincing email for recruiting requirement? Well, I think that's a pretty broad question. But what I will say is when you're in recruiting and staffing, the one thing that sets you apart is knowing your market, is understanding what problems your market is having on a surface level and specific problems, right? So for example, I'll give you a really good example in the IT space, in IT security space. When you think of, when I think about flushing out a market for an IT security niche market space, I would say that the surface problem is that there's a talent shortage. But the core problem is that they may have some vulnerabilities within their network, which is how people are allowed to get in and to hack the system. So you see, the surface problems is we don't have enough people to fill the position. But the core problem is they have a vulnerability. So, you have two types of problems. When you understand the surface problem and the core problem, now you can have different types of conversations. Now you can go in and pick up the phone and say, hey, are you dealing with the talent shortage? Or, hey, are you dealing with a vulnerability in your network? Do you realize your competitor, Marriott, just got hacked in the last 21 hours? What are you doing to ensure that now those hackers aren't coming back to hack you, right? So you got to really look at the problems. You start the conversation off with the problem all the time. Most people start the conversation off with the sell, and that's very crazy because, if a dude, for my ladies, walked up to you, slapped you on the booty, y'all have heard me say this a million times, squeezed your booty and say, you coming home with me right now, you hit the guy everywhere, you be punching him, calling 911, screaming, calling them psychopaths, all types of stuff. You would not allow that. So why would you come at customers that way? You don't want to do that. You want to take the time to understand those customers and what's going on. You can even say things like, I saw that Marriott just had a recent issue with their security. I want to know, how are you all handling your security infrastructure right now? Right? You're having a different conversation. Once they start talking to you about their problems and what's going on, then you ultimately turn that into a hiring thing. Do you have the right staff? Are you comfortable with are you confident that the person that you have on staff right now can fill the role or can do the job? Or do we need to hire someone else to make sure that happens? Let's have a conversation about it in more detail to see how I can help and how I can support you. That is how you start the conversation. You start the conversation by asking questions. Okay, so Ritu says, but how to start the conversation as they think that we're stranger? It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're a stranger. Don't get in your head. It doesn't matter. Start the conversation exactly the way I said it. You ask the question. You go in and you ask the question. Hey, John, this is Dee. How are you today? Great. Listen, I'm reaching out because I noticed Marriott recently got hacked. They had some vulnerabilities in their network. How are you all handling the vulnerabilities within your network? Do you feeling confident that the staff you have right now can secure your network, or would you be open to a conversation about bringing in the right people that can keep your network secure? That's a conversation. It doesn't matter that you're new. You're calling in with a service. They can verify who you are via your LinkedIn account, right? They can see that you're a real person. And plus, when you know that you're going in and you're talking about something that you know about, it's no reason to feel stress or anything like that. But that also requires you to know your niche market. Most people don't know anything about their niche market. If I said to you, how many people do you have in your niche space right now in the Atlanta area? Most people can't spit a number out past their thought process. Right? The only thing they know is that they want to sell staffing, but you don't sell staffing, you sell the problem. I'm fired up. I am. I admit it. I'm fired up. Hello, hello, hello. Come on. Hello. Yeah, of course. Good question. Get it. Good question. All right. All right. There you go. Woo! All right. Stephanie said, does anybody use LinkedIn Recruiter? It is very expensive, $5,600 for one seat. I'm just wondering if anybody uses it and do they think it's worth the cost? I will say that I'll let everybody answer in the group, in the private Facebook group on YouTube. You can answer as well. I'll tell you that my larger staffingpreneurs definitely use LinkedIn Recruiter. My staffingpreneurs who have large volume of job orders, whether they're big or small, use LinkedIn Recruiters. My little small solopreneur staffing agencies typically use LinkedIn Recruiter Lite. I prefer LinkedIn Sales Navigator personally, but because it does both. But the one thing with LinkedIn Recruiter is that you can see who's recently said that they're actively looking. So just keep that in mind. Vicky says, should my LinkedIn account be all business or somewhat about me and my business? All business. LinkedIn is, the culture of LinkedIn is professional. So like on your summary, naturally, so two things, Vicky. You should have a LinkedIn business page and you should have a LinkedIn personal page. On your personal page, it should definitely represent you as an individual for sure, right? So you have two pages, just like Facebook. You got your personal and then you got your Facebook page. On LinkedIn, you've got your personal and your business. On your business, you do all things business. But on your personal, I would say you do want it personal, but not personal like it would be on Facebook, of course. You want it more personal, like all the wonderful things you've done through employment, right? Or through business, right? So through volunteering, if you volunteer for the Humane Society, if you're in a fraternity or sorority, if you've written a book, you post your blog articles, if you did something amazing in your past, anything related to work, it is your visual resume. Y'all remember I did that video last year about the resume being visual? I swear LinkedIn was like stalking me and made every change that I said in that video to LinkedIn. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all can see it if y'all remember. I was way ahead of my time, as always, but I digress. I digress on that one. But they have implemented just about everything that I stated in that video about the new visual resume. So LinkedIn is your visual resume that you want to utilize, and you want to make sure that anything visual you have is great. So like, for example, when I do my live video tonight with Dr. Jones, I can make that'll end up on LinkedIn as a post. I can feature that on my LinkedIn profile to show that I am an influencer in my space and I'm talking about something that matters to society. So all of your work that you're putting out there, to your social impact work, your work that, that's kind of what you want to put out on LinkedIn. And the other thing I want to say while I'm like on this topic, because people don't really take LinkedIn very seriously, is that your LinkedIn, you should have more than 501 connections, but they should be really strategic based on your brand. So don't just get random people to connect with you on LinkedIn. You want potential candidates and potential clients to connect with on LinkedIn. Potential candidates and clients. And if you consider yourself like, oh, I want to be an influencer as well, who wants to connect with influencers? Who wants to promote influencers, right? The media. So you can connect with the media on LinkedIn. We're in unprecedented times where you have the ability to literally have the email address to some of the most important people in the freaking world. So connect with the people that it makes sense for you to connect with, that will allow you to expand your brand, not just today, but tomorrow. So, so, so important. If you are not on LinkedIn, shame on you. If you are not on LinkedIn, shame on you. You have to be on LinkedIn today. You're tripping if you're not. That's where everybody is in the professional world. And that's where you'll see a lot of your growth take place. Okay, really, really, really important stuff. Stephanie says, Stephanie, I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you in oh my gosh, my heart is overflowing to see. I almost got a teary eye. So I'm really, really, really excited to see you here. She says, thank you. How do you use Sales Navigator for hiring purposes, or do you use it for business development with clients? You use it for search. So you still use it for hiring or either or, but you're using it more for your search and to create lists so that you're able to manage your contacts appropriately. And Stephanie, if you're in the space where you're growing, you need to get in our group coaching program for people, because I have two. I have a startup and a scale up. You really want to get into the scale up, but I'm going to tell you this with love. You only welcome if you're going to work your business and stick with it and be consistent from now until the end of time. That's not just for Stephanie, that's for anybody, right? The people in my group are so committed. I'm so proud of, I talk about Nicole all the time, watching her go from I got this idea when she called me, to going through my group coaching program at $0, working 2 or 3 jobs at one time, to going to $2,000 a week, to going to $5,000 a week in billing, going to $7,000 a week in billing, to $10,000 a week in billing. Now she's at $13,000 a week in billing because she pays attention, she listens, she does. She's an overachiever. She's grinding, going from 2 jobs to working full time in her business. That is the progression in our group. And we have such a beautiful group, and it's such a tight-knit family. Such a tight-knit family. It's an open space where you can come in and share and get questions answered and really just work on your business with a group of people who are really doing it, not just people talking. Oh my God, I love my second semester. We meet at 3 p.m. today. I'm like, that's my group right there. Be running to go with that group because they are just the best. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Lakeisha. Shout out to all my semester 2 group folks over there. I love y'all. Joan, I love y'all. Vicky said, what is your business name and location? My business is Identifies Consulting, and we're located in Alpharetta, Georgia. You can find us everywhere. I am literally all over the world. Can you please help in the future with a video with cold calling, or how to write the first impressive email to go? I probably won't do a video on that. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's something that I teach for people who are actually really serious about running a business. Not to say you're not, because I believe you are. But that's something you're going to pay for with me in particular, because I like to not just put information out and leave you out to the wolves. I'm that individual that actually sits down with you and kind of goes through it. But I will tell you, Riedel, that I did a class recently that has a lot of that information in there that you want. It was how to, let me go. I'm going to put the link in the box, because I actually already have a course like that. It's online and it's self-paced. How to generate leads for your niche recruitment and staffing business is what it's called. And it's a pretty short course. You can finish the course in 3 hours. We have already gotten rave reviews back on the course from the people who have actually taken the course. And we actually do a Q&A call with that course that's specific to sales and business development. So I lost y'all. Okay, here you are. Great. So let me go back. I'll put this in a box for you. And it's only $197 for a limited period of time, because I'm writing the book that goes with it. And I'm not finished writing the book. So as soon as the book is finished, then the course will go up to $499, which will be in about a week or so, because I'm headed back out to Los Angeles this weekend, and I'll do it over the weekend. I'll also put this in the private group for anybody who didn't know that course was on fire in the group. It's awesome. We got rave reviews. Satish's there. He knows. You're welcome, Stephanie. I love you. I love you. I love you. The difference between LinkedIn Recruiter Lite and the main one is LinkedIn Recruiter Lite is a lighter version of LinkedIn. The LinkedIn Recruiter has way more fields that you can search in. It gives you different, you can have more than one user using it. With Recruiter Lite, you have less search fields, but still really good to use. Really, really good to use. Of course, for two. I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. So glad. What do you see? What else? I gotta go, y'all. I can't play with y'all all day. I love y'all though. I'm gonna be back tonight, but I gotta prepare for my semester too. We just had a graduation class yesterday, startup class, which was a lot of fun. I screamed. That's why my voice is a little, because I was screaming. Y'all know how I get with the maracas. I got fired up. I love to see people actually say, I'm gonna do something and actually do it. That's why I got fired up about Vicky on here, because she had it in her mind. January she started, and she's been on this call for 1 hour and 20 minutes getting it in so that she can make sure that her business is where she needs it to be. So I love that. TNS Wellness says, D, love your new look. Girl, thank you. I don't know. I'm trying something every day. Maybe find me a nice little hot guy. Who knows? You know how things are, right? Let me just see. Let me see. Really said, how do you overcome stress as we get competing for targets? Do you think that recruitment will be impacted in another few months? That was a great question. He says, how to overcome stress that we get for competing targets. Do you think recruitment will be impacted for another month? I don't think it's any competition on the market right now. I think it's all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Like Tasha mentioned earlier, a lot of places, a lot of staffing agencies are even looking for hiring support. So I wouldn't look at today right now as a lane where you should be thinking like, ooh, the competition. I would be looking at the landscape today more like, how can I support my industry? How can I support my candidates and my clients within my industry? And how can I support other agencies that are also, playing a major role in creating social impact in the industry? Those are the things that you really want to think about for sure. How to overcome stress. Thank you. You're awesome. I love y'all. I love you, love you, love you. What couple of niches are most profitable now and also in general? Well, now, and I want to talk about this government contracting really, really, really quickly. So what couple of niches are most profitable now? I would say stay away from the hospitality space. Anything in entertainment and hospitality is pretty low right now. From a front end perspective, meaning people who are on the front lines, a lot of those companies have closed down. I went to the Apple store to get a Lacey, and they were closed, so I couldn't do that. I tried to go to Amazon and order one. They told me I wasn't gonna get it until June, right? So it's like, what? But luckily Best Buy had curbside service, so I was still there. So, companies are still functioning. What I will say is healthcare is booming. Mental health, booming. Manufacturing, if you're in the manufacturing space and you're specifically focusing on something that's going around the COVID-19, that's probably booming. Many retail organizations are actually booming. There was a list that just went out on LinkedIn the other day about all the companies that are hiring, and it's so interesting. They're hiring in the thousands and the multi-thousands. Who's hiring right now on it's a link on LinkedIn. I'm gonna share it with you all here on YouTube, and I'll also share it with you in the Facebook group. I'll also share it here. Give me 1 second. I'm putting it everywhere so y'all can see it. But they're talking about a list like who's hiring now. Tons of people are hiring now. Instacart, 300,000 contact workers. Walmart, 150,000 workers. Amazon, 100,000. CVS, 50,000. Dollar General, 50,000. Pizza Hut, 30,000. Lowe's, 30,000. Family Dollar, 25,000. Walgreens, 25,000. 7-Eleven, 20,000. Kroger, 20,000. Then they give you a full list, and then people started posting right underneath the individual companies. We're hiring 200 people. We're hiring 300 people. We're producing masks. We're doing this, and we're hiring. So people are aggressively hiring. IT is a recession-proof niche. Healthcare is a recession-proof niche. Sales is a recession-proof niche. Find your niche. Government contracting. Now, Kiana talked about government contracting, and then I'm going to go, y'all. I love y'all, but I got to go. My voice is like, wow. Let me drink some more of this. Y'all are so funny. Wow, that is strong. Okay, so I want to say just something about government contracting really, really quickly. So I am not anti-government contracting because I actually started my career in that space to some degree. But what I will say is if you don't already have an established relationship with a prime vendor, it typically takes a while to get that government contract going and to generate revenue. I would not encourage anybody ever to solely have a staffing agency that solely focuses on government contracting. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I have to be very light with the story because I don't want to do defamation of character. I worked for a company some years back. I contracted with a company some years back, and the VP of the company went on vacation, and the owner thought, okay, now this is a great time for me to get to know Dee. So she takes me to lunch, and she says, you know, how do you feel about your role? And I was the head recruiter, operations, something. And I was like, I love the role, but I'm concerned about the wealth of the company considering where we are. And she said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, we only have government contracts. So the government is not always consistent. So what happens if we lose the government contract? And then she says, then we'll get another one. I said, but how long does it take to get another one? How long did it take for you to get this government contract? And she says, okay, I see your point. So like, what do you suggest? I said, I think it's really crazy to only focus in one area of your business, meaning just government contracting. It's really important that you open up a commercial division so that if something happens on the government contract side, you can have something to fall back on your commercial side. If something happens in the economy on the commercial side and the government is still standing, then you still have the government side, and then you always are able to stay afloat. She absolutely loved the idea. And when the lady that I reported to directly came back from vacation, it was time for me to go on vacation, so I left. Throughout the course of the week, people were calling me from my staff, and they were like, my boss was going through my computer, my desk, interviewing my staff, asking questions. And so I was like, wow, that's crazy. I don't even know, I didn't even know what was going on. So I get back to work. I went to push my key fob, and my key fob didn't work. But y'all already know how I am. Like, everybody pretty much loves me, right? So when the maintenance man in the building, he saw my key fob not working. He's like, what's going on, D? I was like, I don't know. My key fob not working. So he's like, oh, don't worry. I'll let you in. He let me in, sent me upstairs. I immediately knew that if my key fob isn't working, and I'm typically the first one in and the last one out, that she was pissed off and she was ready to fire me. So I took my key fob and put it on the desk. When she came in, I had already packed my stuff up because at this point I'm feeling like I'm just going to quit even if they weren't, and to do that because I don't like that, right? I already knew something was going on. So she called me into the office and had a conversation with me. And I didn't say anything. I just listened. She said, I think it's time we need to let you go. We're going to end this contract. We no longer need you. We're doing great. And I said, okay, great. Is there something in particular that I did? And she said, yes. And I said, what? And she couldn't really identify. She just kind of beating around the bush. And I said, I really want to know, what did I do to deserve this? And she stood up on the desk, slammed her hands and said, I'm not letting no little black bee come in here and take what I worked hard for. I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, okay, thank you. That's valid. I said, well, this is the deal. I never tried to take anything. I was asked a question. I answered the question. I actually like my job, but I understand how you feel. Have a great day. I packed my stuff up and left. That's not the end of the story. Maybe 6 months later, I was on the bus in DC riding down H Street, and the girl that I hired, the receptionist, she still worked there. She called me and she said, D, where are you? I said, I'm on the bus. I'm on my way to the office. She's like, do you see a newspaper? And I said, no, I don't have any. She said, get off the bus right now, get off the bus. I'm like, what the heck? So I jump off the bus. She says, go get a newspaper. I go in, put my money in the thing, get the newspaper. On the front cover, the same company that I was working for was on the front cover of the Washington Post. They lost that government contract. Doors closed. Boya. Boya. And the owner went back to becoming an IT professional, working for somebody else. Okay? So, like, literally, I'm trying to tell you that I would not saturate my entire business model in government contracting. I may do a portion in government contracting and then have another portion where I'm supporting commercial businesses, but there's no way that I would solely focus on just government contracting. That's what I wanted to say about the government contracting piece. I hope you all took that the right way, because I'm telling you that with love. Yeah, sometimes people don't understand that, like, not everybody has the same idea of, I mean, just like you're dealing with people. I mean, that's just the bottom line, and you can't control people and their thoughts and their emotions or whatever. And of course, people react based on how they feel most of the time versus what they're thinking in their mind. So it's not the first time I was mistreated. It probably won't be the last time, but it's what you do with that. It's what you do with that that matters the most. Do you take that and bash? Do you take that and roll over and die? No, you take that and say, check, let me show you who I really am, though. See, you only got a piece of me, baby. Let me show you who D. Williams really is. And then you show them. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you do. You have to take that negative space and turn it into a positive. Every time, not sometimes, not every now and then, every time, because that's when you win. That's, if you put that energy out, it'll come back to you. It really will. All right. I just had to say that everything does happen for a reason, honey. Yes, yes, yes. So I know I was only giving a suggestion, girl. I was not thinking about taking that lady's job. That was honestly, the last thought of my mind. It was so funny because when she slammed on the test and stuff, first of all, she was Hispanic. So I'm thinking we sisters, right? We so close, we sisters. Why would you think that I would even be thinking about I don't care about you. I actually wanted to be the person who ran the commercial division. So I had my own agenda. I'm like, they open up a commercial division. I know I can keep that division going. I don't want to deal with the government side anymore because it's like too much inconsistency. They can keep the government side. I'll run the commercial. I even told her, like, here are the top 3 locations you could open up a commercial division based on the market. I did all the market research to show her that, like, you have a viable market right here where you can generate money immediately based on what you've already established on the government side. And she saw the level of genius in what I was saying, but she also had an employee who was insecure. So, her loyalty went to her insecure employee, and now she's paying for it. She paid for it. So, whatever. I ain't paid for it. I'm telling you, it was the best thing that happened to me because look at where I am now. Look at who I am. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that I could have done. It just doesn't matter. That's not important. My point is, don't give up. All right. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you found it to be valuable, please like it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, okay? And put the bell on there because I do videos and I'll be on often, way more now. Also, staffingpreneursacademy.com. Just come and hang out and just see what we're doing. I always have something going on. I have more than one YouTube channel. I'm always inspiring people. I don't just help people start staffing businesses. I actually help people start businesses in general and get them fired up as well. Y'all know I bring the pain with the energy. I will be live 7 p.m. tonight here on YouTube with Dr. Kiana Jones. She's going to really help get us in a great space around the COVID so that you guys can feel better about staffing even more. I love each and every one of you. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, yeah. And now's the time. Oh, yeah. Okay. see semester 2 at 3 p.m. I love y'all. Bye. I really love y'all for real.